Chapter 2 of PowerPoint is dealing with presentation development, planning, preparing presentation. And so again, you'll go ahead and we'll discuss a little bit more about templates and themes. You've used those already, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then you'll learn how to modify your presentations. A template is a file that includes the different formatting elements, so such as backgrounds, themes that have different color schemes and font selections for your titles and text boxes. And then templates can also include some different slide layouts that help you to position your content in the placeholders. So there's different themes that are, first of all, that are built into PowerPoint. There's some that you can search for from within PowerPoint. We'll show you that. Of course, there are many themes and things that you can download from the internet as well. So if you just search like PowerPoint themes or PowerPoint design templates, you're going to come up with a lot of different things that you can download even from the internet. Some are free, some are paid, but so there's a lot of different options available to you. And you've done this already, but when you start a new presentation, PowerPoint displays a gallery of different templates, including a blank presentation. In addition, you can search online for more templates. So you have a blank presentation that allows you to use your own images for the background and or colors or however you want to do that. And then you see here, there's some different ones that are built in. So for example, the Ion theme, the Savon theme, Integral. So these are some that are built into the application, okay? And then there's this box right here that says search online. So you can search, type in there whatever you want. Maybe you're looking for, maybe you're doing something for a birthday party, maybe type in birthday, and you can find out, what's available. And so this is an example. If let's say you were to look up photo albums, these are different ones that are photo albums. One thing to note, because it's going to come up when we actually get into our exercises, is they want the contemporary photo album. This is no longer available online. So I've uploaded the file that you'll need, and it's in Canvas for you when you get there. But again, you see there's a lot of different options available for you. But of course, you can also design your own. And so that's kind of what I've done when I'm going to show you. So for example, this right here where I've set up my agenda, this is something that I created. This isn't one that was downloaded. So I have my own just different pictures. And then I have the thing here, text box for the date, and then etc. So this is something that I created. So of course you can do that as well. You can use the blank and then you can develop what you want. And then we'll also talk how to modify a presentation that was based on a template. So the template that you download may have custom slide layouts unique to that particular template. And so after you download a template, you can of course modify. So you can change the font style or the size or the color, however you want. You can move and delete placeholders, and you can also move an object on the slide. So you can really customize these however you want. So we see here that you can use pictures to add visual appeal to a presentation. Some templates include slide layouts with placeholders for both pictures and text. And so we see here that there were probably 2 placeholders here for different images, and then there was a placeholder here for text. Now the pictures, of course, we know can come from many sources. They could be pictures that you've taken either with a digital camera, or you've taken maybe on your phone and downloaded them. You could also be pictures maybe that you scanned into the computer, that you used a scanner to scan into the computer. And also you can of course find images on the internet. Now again, or even from using, from built into the program. One thing to be aware of is using pictures from the internet is just to make sure that you have permission and license from the creator. So there are websites that you can download stock photography, some for free, some that do charge. And then you have to find out then what are you allowed to do with those particular images. It's not a good idea to go on like Google and go on Google Images and just find pictures there, because you may or may not have permission to use those. Just something to be aware of with that. So now just thinking about this is you can also create a presentation in what's called the outline view. So normally you have previews here of the various slides here. So this is what they call the outline view. And this is how it used to be back in the day with PowerPoint. Okay, with previous versions like 97, 2000, etc. This is how it used to look. So an outline organizes text by using a hierarchy containing main points and subpoints to indicate the level of importance of the text. An outline is the fastest way for you to enter and edit text in a presentation. So you might already have maybe an outline of your talk already, so you could just use that then directly. So to change to outline view, you would go up here to the View tab in the ribbon, and then you would choose the outline view in the presentation views group. In outline view, each slide is denoted by a slide number and the slide icon, followed by the slide title if it has a title placeholder and the text indented under the slide title. So we see here, for example, the slide on slide 5, the title is a walking fitness group, and then this is the points and subpoints that were under that. And so we'll look at that when we get into the actual exercise. You can, of course, modify the outline structure. So because the outline view shows the overall structure of the presentation, you can be used to move bullets or slides until the outline's organization is perfected. The view of the outline can be collapsed or expanded to display the slide contents or just the slide titles. The collapsed outline view displays only slide icons and titles of the slides, whereas the expanded outline view displays the slide icon, the title, and the slide contents. And so we see that. So again, under view and then outline view, and then there's some options then to do that. You can also print the outline, and so you can print the outline in either the expanded or the collapsed view. So this figure shows the print preview of a layout in the expanded view. To print the outline, you can go to File and then Print, and then you can click on Outline when you are choosing what you want to print. So the outline's good because maybe you can use these as notes. You know what's coming up on your slides, and obviously this uses a lot less ink than if you actually were to print out your actual slides. Because if they're really colorful or anything, that's going to take up a lot of ink and a lot of paper. So this just prints it out real nice for you. And then you can also import an outline that was written in another application. So you can have outlines that can be created using outline view in Microsoft Word can be imported into the PowerPoint presentation. So when saving a Word document, you want to save it as what's called a rich text format or a .rtf. And so that is a universal format that preserves the formatting of the document, and it can be used to import files either to or from Mac or the Windows platform. So you can do it that way. So you even like just a notepad document or a WordPad document, you can use that. There are some problems sometimes with importing an RTF file. So you may want to import it as a plain text document that has a .txt extension, because the plain text format does not preserve formatting. Each line of the outline becomes a separate slide. Cause some issues, but we'll look at that. And then one thing that's kind of helpful also is that you can reuse slides from existing presentations. So when you're creating a new presentation, you can use slides from an existing PowerPoint presentation. And so to reuse slides, you click on the new slide arrow in the slides group of the home tab, and then you can go down to reuse slides. After you click browse, you can navigate to the location of the PowerPoint file and click open. So you can use, let's say that you've done, one presentation, you want to reuse something from that, you can. Or let's say that maybe you're working on a group project, and so you have, a couple of you, and you've done your own PowerPoint file. You can use this in order to merge the slides into one PowerPoint file then that you're going to turn in or that you're going to use to present. So this is really helpful. We can also use and have sections in our presentation. You can group content into meaningful collections called sections. You can think of sections like the tabs that help you to organize a binder. You can use either the normal view or the slide sorter view in order to create sections. To add a section to a presentation, first you would select the first slide of the new section, click the section in the slides group on the home tab, and then click section. So the home tab and then section, and so you can click add section. Once you've created a section, you should give it a descriptive name. This figure shows a section being added to the presentation, normal view, with the name default section. As further seen in the figure, 3 sections have been added and named mission, support, and services. So we see here that we have default section, we have one, and then mission. So mission is a section, and then you have the slides dealing with that, support and services. That just helps you to divide up your presentation. And we'll talk a little bit about slideshow design principles. So the following are slideshow design principles that were discussed in the textbook. And some of these might also be, I know this week you have a discussion forum, and so some of these things might be described in the videos that you'll see as well for that. So you can choose design elements that are appropriate for your audience. So if you're talking to adults, you don't want things that look too cartoonish necessarily. You want to keep your design neat and clean. So right here you have a white background with black text and kind of a turquoise blue title. That's really clear. It's easy to see. Now, if this was really cluttered, it would be very difficult to see. You want to create a focal point that leads the viewer's eyes to critical information on a slide. Use unified design elements for a professional look, and then also choose fonts appropriate to the output of the presentation. So again, depending upon if it will be printed or if it's going to be shown, electronically or some way, thinking about that, making sure that the font is large enough, that there's enough contrast. It's going to look good depending upon how it's being displayed is important, because sometimes things might look really great on your computer, but if you're using a projector or you're using maybe a scan converter to connect a computer to a television, it may or may not look so great, just depending upon what technology is available to you. And then you can modify a theme. You can modify themes once they've been applied. You can change the variants, which those are the different colors that go along with it. You saw that, for example, you did a presentation, I believe it was the facet theme. And so there was like a blue variant, there was a green variant, there might have been an orange variant. So that's the different variants, the different colors, fonts, effects, and background styles used in the theme. Each of these options are on the design tab, and each has their own gallery. So you have color, fonts, effects, and background styles. So we'll look at that in a little more detail now, and we'll look at that when we get into the textbook. We see here, this is an example of the colors gallery and gives you different colors that make up the theme. So right now, they have like the Office 2007 to 2010, the Office color scheme, and then you see there's different ones. So there's like yellow, green, there's red, violet, there's different ones. Now, this is important, choosing the colors, because in the book, they'll give you instructions and they'll say to choose a certain color, and if you don't find it, this is where you would check. Make sure you're using the correct color theme that they asked you to use. And then the other thing you have is you have different slide masters. And so masters control the layout, background styles, and color combinations for handouts, note pages, and slides, which give a presentation a consistent look. Any change to a master makes universal style changes that affect every slide in the presentation and supporting materials. So to modify the master, you can click on the View tab, and then in the Master's View group, click on the Slide Master at the top of the list, and then you can click on one of the associated layouts. And so we see here, so for example, I know in the book, they're going to have you put a logo. Maybe you work for a company, you want that logo to be of the company to be on every single slide. This is one easy way for you to do that. Or maybe you want to get creative, you want to make your own theme. This is how you could do that in order to set things that then would apply to every single slide in the presentation. So we're in our Canvas course, and we're going to go down here to our week 7 module. And so we'll look at the instructions then for today. So right now what we're going to do is go over PowerPoint Chapter 2 hands-on activities. So we can go ahead and click on that. And you see here that there are some files that we need to download. Now notice here this note right here. It says for steps B and C on page 997. We'll see that when we get there. You can use the file PO2H1 center because the template that they ask you to use is no longer available. So as you will notice that some steps might have already been completed for you, but just go step by step to make sure that you haven't missed anything. So that's just something. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and download the files first. So I'm going to minimize this. So I'm going to make a new folder on my desktop. So again, I just right click, go down here to new new folder. And I'm going to go ahead and call this PowerPoint Chapter 2. Now, what I would suggest for you is, as a student, is that you keep your folders and keep your work, because that way if something happens, you have you can always go back and look at it. So I'll go ahead and open this up. And so what I'll do is I'll just right click. Let's try to do this, if it'll work. No, it won't, because that's the Firefox HTML document. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so you're gonna, I guess, have to open up each of these. There we go. Okay. And again, just make sure that you know where you've saved your work. So we'll download that, and then the med outline. And then mission. And again, I'm just right clicking on the file and then choosing save link as, and then it's allowing me to save it. And then wellness PPTX. And then the logo. Again, just make sure that you're saving it where you can find the correct location. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll minimize this. And then it said in the instructions, let me go back. It said to open up the first page is going to be 997. So let me go ahead and open up to 997. The first thing that we need to do is we want to go ahead and instead of what they say, so you guys know something because you're on the Zoom, is they say, well, you know, we can do this and I'll show you what it looks like anyway, because we'll do it anyway. So they want us to start PowerPoint. So we'll go down here to File and Open PowerPoint. So we'll click on New, or you might already come up, and there's some already here, but we'll click on New. So we see here, these are all of the different templates that either are from the internet or some that are built into the program, okay? And you see there's some pretty neat ones. So again, the ones you see might possibly be different, okay? Because I don't know if that's different or not. So I was talking earlier, I said maybe you want to do one maybe for a birthday party. So if you type in birthday, you'll see, so here's an example of like a greeting card that you could make. There's a balloons template, there's some different ones. So as an example, okay? And then they said they wanted photo album. So if you type in their photo album, we see all the different photo albums that you can create. All right, so that's kind of cool. The trouble is the one that we need is not there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just close out a PowerPoint, and I'm going to minimize this. So we're going to go into our exercise files, and we're going to go ahead and open the file that is called PO2H1 Center last first. So we're going to go ahead and open that up, and we're going to hit Enable Editing. And it says to view the slideshow and to read each of the instructions included in the template. And it says templates may include instructions for their use or tips on the content that may be added to create a specific presentation. For example, on slide 2 includes instructions to follow for adding your own pages to the album. So we could take a look at this. And so if we go up here to File, the slideshow, and then click on Beginning, we see here the title slide. And then we see here they said slide 2 includes, it probably did we've already done that, so we'll just ignore that. But what we can do is we can go ahead and resave it. Oh, there's one more thing. So what we can do is we can click on the Insert tab, and we can go to Header Footer. That's at the top of 998. If I can find that. That's Header Footer right here, Text Header Footer. And in the text group, click on Notes and Handouts tab and create a handout header with your name and a handout footer with the instructor's name and your class. So the header, instead of saying Exploring Series, we can type in your name. And then for the instructor's name, Professor Abbott, and the class name is AOM 30. So you can go ahead and do that and then hit apply to all. So that will then be on there when we do the handouts. And then for step F, they want us to go up here to File and then Save As. And again, I'll just hit Browse to show you. So we'll make sure that we're on our desktop and then we're on our PowerPoint Chapter 2 folder. So we're going to call this PO2H1 Center and then Last First. So now we're going to work on step 2, which is modifying a placeholder. So we'll go back over here to slide 1. And it looks like they've already done this, but what they want us to do is they want us to click on the text Contemporary Photo Album and the title placeholder type Wellness Education Center. What already says that. So, but this would be where the title would go ordinarily. So we've already done that. So we'll just go ahead and skip. And then they want it to have to be italicized. So if we were needing to do that, we could select it, go up here to Home. This is italicize. And then this is the shadow. They've already done that, so we'll just leave it alone. And then for the subtitle, which is over here, it says dedicated to promoting healthy lifestyles. And they wanted us to type that in there. We've already done that, so we're not going to. And then we'll save our presentation. But that's, obviously real simple. You could click on that and change that however you need to. So then we'll modify the layout. So we'll go to slide 2. And they want us to replace the sample text with health services includes physician care, lab tests, immunizations, and patient counseling. They've already done that, but this was a placeholder where you would have been able to type in there, okay? And then they want us to change the layout. So if you go up here to Home and then Layout, the layout they're looking for is one that's called Square with Caption layout. And so we see that that already is selected, so we can just go ahead and actually if we select that, it's going to put it down at the bottom, so that's fine. So we've done that. So we've just made sure that that was done. And you see that the contemporary photo album template has many more layouts than a default Office themed template. The number of layouts provided with the template varies, as we said, so always check to see what your options are. And it says select the caption, drag it to the top of the picture, not above it. As you drag, you'll notice the red line guides appear. To move the object, you can press and hold the Shift key to actually have additional control. So we can drag and then hold down the Shift key. You'll see kind of the red lines. So they want it kind of right here, and then you can move the picture down below. So just showing you that you can do that. And that was actually kind of how it was. So then we go over here to slide 3, and then it says to select the placeholder text, choose a layout, which we don't need to do that, and type in the word events. And then it says to delete the subtitle text. The subtitle text is right here. So we can click, notice how when I move my mouse, the mouse cursor changes to a 4-headed arrow. Not on that one, but on this one. So if I click, I can hit delete. Make sure that you delete just when you delete existing text, new template placeholder is replaced by instruction text. It is not necessarily delete this as it will not display. Okay. So I guess that's okay if it's like that. So we won't delete that, but they're just showing you that you can do that. So now if you go over here to slide, they've already done that. So slide 4 was this one, which is called title and content, and then they deleted the title. So we've already done that. And then what we can do is we can click on the View tab, and we can click on the Slide Sorter view. So if we do that, we see here, this is how then you can reorganize these however we need. And it says to click on slide 5, hold down the control key, and then select the slide 6 thumbnail. So if you hold down the control key, so now when you hold down a control key, it allows you to select more than one slide. So we see here we've selected now slide 5 and slide 6. See, and I don't want to delete that because I'm not sure. I think they've already done that. I think they maybe had an extra slide in there that we don't have anymore. So we won't do that. But you can do that. So then we'll go ahead and click on the normal, and we will go back to save the presentation. And then with slide 4, it says add pictures and modify. We're just going to go ahead and skip that because it looks like they've already done it. But it's this one right here. It's confusing because they've already done part of it. So I apologize for that. So now we can go over to page 1007, which is hands-on exercise 2. And so first of all, they want us to go ahead and resave it. So we've left it open. So we're going to go up here to File and then Save As. We can choose our folder. And then we're going to change this to PO2H2. So now we've saved it with a new name. And this time what we want to go over here to View and choose the Outline View. And so this is the Outline View. And then click at the end of the last bullet of slide 4, which is right here, and press Enter. And then if we go up here to the Home tab and we click here to decrease twice, so we'll click it again. Notice now it gives us a new slide 5. And so now what we can do is we can type walking wellness group. And then we can press Enter because that gives us a new slide. We don't want to do that. So then we'll go ahead and hit Tab. So that then tells the computer we want to stay on this slide. And then what we can do is we can type in walk with the campus community. We could press Enter. Then we could press Tab again because this time it'll indent one more. So we'll type in there students and press Enter staff. We'll go ahead and hit Save. So then we'll do step 2, which is to edit the outline. So while proofreading your outline, discover that you didn't identify one of the campus community groups. You also notice that you left out one of the most important slides of your presentation, why someone should walk. And so you're going to edit that. So we'll click after the word staff on slide 5. So this is slide 5. We'll click after the word staff. Then we'll go ahead and press Enter. And we'll type in there the word faculty. And then we'll press Enter. And then we'll hit Shift Tab twice. So Shift Tab, what that does is demote. So then that makes it then back to slide 6. So then we're going to do the following. We're going to type in there why ? And we'll press Enter, or actually go up here to. So we have to hit Tab again in order to get that, or click that. Then we're going to type in our bullet points. Keeps weight down. Reduces blood cholesterol. Lowers blood pressure. Increases cardiovascular endurance. Boosts bone strength. and then finally burns calories. Then we'll go ahead and save our work. So now we're going to work on step 3, which is modifying the outline structure and then print. So for that, we're going to position our mouse pointer over the very first bullet point, keeps weight down on slide 6 of the outline. So notice how the mouse cursor, it changes to a four-headed arrow. So we're going to click keeps weight down, and we're going to bring that and move that now down to the very last point. So we just reorganized our points. And then we can click anywhere in the slide 6 text. So just right click, and then you can choose collapse. So we see then that it collapsed down. We still see it here, but in our outline, it collapsed it. And actually, we can do that again. Collapse, collapse all. So we see that. So now what we can do, if we wanted to print this, we're not going to actually print it, but I'll show you. We'll go up here to File and then Print. So right now it's set to full page slides. But what we can do is we can click on full page slides, and then we can choose outline. So then it gives us the outline. So then if we wanted to print it, we could hit print, it would come out. I don't want to print it, so we're going to go ahead and hit the back arrow that takes us back. And then we'll right click any of the text that's visible in the outline pane and point to expand, and then select expand all. And then we see that if we go back up here to File and then Print, we see that we're still in the outline view, and then we see then that it now includes more information. And again, also our header and our footer that we specified are in there now. So we don't want to actually print, so we'll go ahead and hit the back arrow. And it says to check the spelling in the presentation, save and close the presentation. So to check your spelling, you go up here to Review, and then under Proofing Spelling. And then for me, everything's complete, so we'll hit OK. And then we'll close it. It asks if you want to save changes. You do. So we'll hit Save, and so it saved our changes. So we're about halfway there. So now go ahead and flip on over to page 1013, which is dealing with the data imports. So we're going to now work on a different presentation. So we'll go down here to the Start menu, and we'll just go ahead and open up PowerPoint because I want to show you how to do this. So we'll go ahead and click on a blank presentation, and they want us to save this as a W02H3 mission last first. So we'll go up here to File, and we'll go to Save As, and we'll save it under, so we'll call this P02H3 mission, and then your last name and your first name. You're going to have trouble if you try to save it literally last first, because there's already a file in there with that name. So this time what we'll do is we'll go up here under the Home tab to New Slides. It will say that we want to use slides from an outline. So we'll click on that, and then we'll go ahead and go into our PowerPoint Chapter 2 folder. And we see here that there's a file that's called P02H3 Med Outline. So we'll click on that, and we'll hit Insert. Notice now that it went ahead and it inserted all of your information. And then if you go up here to View and then Outline, we see here then that we have our slide title and all the information there. And because the file was created in Word with heading styles applied and saved in rich text format, the outline retains its hierarchy. Each slide has a title and a bolded list. And then what we'll do is we'll create a handout header that has your name and a footer with the instructor's name and class, include the current date. So go up here to Insert, and then Header Footer. and then we'll do this is for the slides handout. So header, we'll type in there your name, and then footer will be the professor's name, and then the class. Also, it said to include the time and date. So we'll click up here, time and date, and we'll hit apply to all. So it doesn't change anything here, but it will for your handouts. And then it says they want us to apply the integral theme. So we'll go up here to design. And then if you click, and actually I see it right here that this is integral. But if you click right here on the more button, you can see all of the different themes that come with the program. And so we want integral. So we'll just go ahead and click on that. So that now sets then the integral theme. And then we'll save our presentation. We'll do step 2 now of hands-on exercise 3 is to reuse slides from another presentation. So you're reviewing the Wellness Education Center presentation. You realize that you don't have a title slide or a final slide inviting students to contact the center. And so you want to go ahead and just reuse slides from another presentation that was created for the center containing slides that would fit well in this presentation. So we'll go back up here to the normal view. So we'll go up here to view and then normal. So we see that. And then what we'll do is we'll go up here to the home tab. And instead of clicking here to make a new slide, we're going to go to new slide. And this time we're going to say we want to reuse slides. So we'll click on that. What we need to do is we need to hit browse. And then we're going to go into where our exercise files are stored. And then this time what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the files that are located in PO2H3 Wellness. So we'll click on that and we'll hit open. Notice then that you have the different slides here that are in that presentation. So we want to make sure that at the bottom of that you have this keep source formatting, make sure that's checked. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and click on the first slide, which is Campus Wellness. That'll insert that in there. And then it says to delete the blank title slide that is currently slide 1. So we'll click on that, and then we'll just hit the delete key on our keyboard. And then what we'll do is we will go ahead and select the slide 7 icon, which says to be a healthy success story. We'll click on that. And then we'll go ahead and click on slide 7 in the reuse slide pane. So then that then makes a new slide, which is now slide 8. And then we can save the presentation, and then we'll go ahead and we will continue working on this. So this time we're on hands-on exercise 4, which is dealing with design. So the director of the Wellness Education Center plans to add more content to the center's mission presentation. To help her organize the content, you create sections in the slideshow. You apply your knowledge of design principles to make the text more professional and readable. Finally, you change the theme and make modifications to the presentation through the slide master. So we already have left our file open, but we're going to go up here to File, and we're going to go to Save As. We're going to save our file. And this time what we want to do is we want to go ahead and call it WO2H4 mission. All right. Now we can close this reuse slides because for right now we're done with that. And then what we'll do is we're already on the normal view. If we weren't, you could go up here to view and normal, but we already are. And it says to go ahead and click on the slide 2 thumbnail, which is this one right here. And then what we want to do is we want to click on section in the slides group and click add section. So if we go right here under slides section, we want to click on add section. This box pops up, it asks for the name of the section. And so this time what we'll do is we'll go ahead and call this mission, and we'll hit rename. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll click on slide 3 now, and we'll go ahead and make a new section. So we'll click on add section, and we will call this one support, and then hit rename. Okay. Now, for some reason that little box doesn't pop up, you can right click and then hit rename section. It'll allow you to do that. And it says to right click between slides 6 and 7 and create a section called closing. So right here, we'll click in the middle of those, add section, and we're going to call this closing and rename. And then what we can do is we can right click on any section divider and hit collapse all. Okay, so we see now that we did that. So then what we can do is we can right click on the support section and hit move up. So support, right click, and say move section up. So now we have support, mission, and then closing. And then we can right click on any section divider and hit expand all. Okay, so we have that. And now what we can do is we can go to the slide sorter view. So if we go up here to view and then slide sorter, we see now that it's divided by section. So this is a default section, support, mission, and then the closing. And I think that's all. They just wanted us to take a look at that. So if we go back to view and then normal, gets us back into the normal view. And it says to save the presentation. So we'll save it. So now on step 2, it says to apply design principles. So we'll go ahead and we'll choose slide 3. And then we'll select the text below the title placeholder. So that is all of this text right here. And we will hit the change case arrow in the font group of the home tab and change it to sentence case. So we'll go up here to home, and in the font group, this is the change case button, and we'll choose sentence case. The text now meets the guidelines and is now more readable. And then we will change the text below the titles in slides 4, 5, and 6 to sentence case. So we've done that. So now what we can do is for slide 4, we see that there's a problem here. It's actually slide 5 unless I'm missing something. They want us to change the second line to DVDs and CDs. And then we'll go ahead and click on slide 7. And this time what we'll do is we will go ahead and we'll click on the title and change case and make it to capitalize each word. And then we'll change the uppercase A to a lowercase a right here. Title case capitalization guidelines state that only significant parts of speech of 4 or more letters should be capitalized. Minor parts of speech, including articles and words shorter than 4 letters, shouldn't be. So that's why we changed the A. So we've done that. So now what we can do is we'll go up here to view and then slide sorter view, that you can see the sentence case in the services section. So we're good there. And so we'll save our work. And now this time what we want to do is we want to go ahead and modify the theme. Although you're satisfied with the opening and closing slides, you think that the main body slide should be enhanced. You decide to change the theme and then modify the new theme to customize it. We'll go up here to design, and then we want to choose the more button. And this time we want to choose the theme that's called slice, which is this one right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on that. Notice then that it's going to change the theme in all of the slides except for the first and the last one, because that's going to retain the theme that was in that we copied them from. And then in the design tab, we'll choose more under variants. So these are the different, we see the different variants here. We're going to choose background styles, and we're going to, choose background style 11, which is this one right here. But you see here, there's different options. So we want background style 11. And then we'll go ahead and save our presentation. And this time, so then we're going to go over here finally on step 4 is to modify the slide master. So you want to add the Wellness Education Center's logo to slides 2 through 7 using a slide master. So that way it's in the same place and really easy. So we'll go up here to view, and this time we'll click on under master views, we want the slide master. So that takes us to this screen. And so now what we want to do is we want to click on the slide master thumbnail next to number 3, which there isn't one, so it would just be next to number 2 right here. So we'll click on that. And then what we'll do is we'll go over here to the Insert tab, and then we'll choose Pictures, either from File or from this device. So we'll click on that, and then we'll go up here to the desktop. We'll go back to our exercise files, and we'll choose this Campus Wellness Center. So we'll choose that, hit Insert. So there's the logo that we inserted. And now what we want to do is we want to move the logo so it's in the top right corner of the slide master. So probably about like so is probably pretty good. Release the mouse button. So we've done that. So now what we can do is we can click on the slide master tab and close slide master. Now notice that that logo now is on all the slides 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 and 7. Okay. And then again, they want us to go ahead and check spelling again. So we'll go up here to review, and then under proofing spelling, it's complete. Then we'll save our work. So the files that you will be submitting then will be, and it tells you here, is P02H2 Center, but with your last name and first name, and P02H4 Mission with your last and your first name. And again, substitute last first with your last name and your first name. So if we go up here again, submit assignments, we'll browse. So we'll choose center. We'll add another file, mission, H4, submit assignment. And again, it might take a second to go ahead and submit those. And there it is. So that's literally all there is to it.